Good morning. Today, I'm going to talk about a different topic. Let me digress a little bit from our past topic of 10 rules. Today's topic is how to choose a Mandarin teacher. I saw in the YouTube or internet, there are so many teachers, so many teachings teaching Mandarin Chinese to people, to learners around the world. And the question occurred on my mind that how can you choose a teacher, or rather choose a good teacher to learn Mandarin Chinese? Well, first, I want to say that it really depends on needs. If you just want to learn a few phrases or sentences for travelers' needs, or to ask very simple things, you probably don't need a very good teacher. You can basically ask anybody who is a speaker of that country, or even some learners to teach you, and that's suffice. But if you want to invest much more time, energy to learn the language, you better think about how to choose a teacher. Because with a good teacher, you can save a lot of time. You can learn correctly. And more importantly, to reach your goal, whatever goal it is. Especially if you want to learn deeper, go deeper, go to the culture, to the thinking, to many other things. So that's pretty important. So choosing a teacher, a good Mandarin teacher, is crucial to your study, especially in later years or later time when you study more, when you want to know more about the Mandarin Chinese. All right. Okay, I propose five criteria for you to consider before you choose a teacher. Number one, I want to say a good teacher is a teacher him or herself in the past. So check the credentials of that individual who can teach you if he has been a teacher in the past. To be a teacher, it demands a lot of things from him or her, like the speaking clearly, logically, and nicely to students, and many other things. So a teacher can certainly teach, has some qualification or credential you can trust. So check the history if you can for that person. That's number one. Number two, you want to learn Mandarin Chinese. Mandarin Chinese is based on the northern part of China. So the standard Mandarin Chinese originates from the capital. Nowadays, it's called Beijing. That's the capital of Qing Dynasty, where the word Mandarin came from. So choose a northerner rather than a southerner. It's very important. A southerner has his own or her own accents, so it's not a standard naturally. So a northerner of China is much better, and you can feel the difference when he or she talks, or you may put a question to her or him underneath to ask her where does he or she come from China. So that's basically the basics, the really natural environment where he or she grows up. So that's pretty important. The third thing I think a good teacher versus a not good teacher is a good teacher will lead you step by step to guide you to clear the way to point the goal you can achieve. You know, as a language learner, it's like there's a wall, the wall separating you as a learner from the teacher and on the other side of the wall. So the difference is the teacher knows, good teacher knows where you have reached, where your next goal is, so that you won't confuse yourself. Normally, as a language learner, you lost the interest or you lost your passion for continuing learning the language is because you don't see clearly what's in front of you, what goal you can achieve. You started to wonder, to question yourself. That's where a good teacher should step in. He or she should tell you what's the next goal for you to achieve. And those small steps gradually pave the way to success in future. So a good teacher should recognize that when you tell her or him how much you have achieved and how much you want to go, what's your goal in your learning, he or she should know exactly which stage your language learning has reached. So it's pretty important that a good teacher can act it that way to you so that you know where to go and you can keep going and motivate you to push forward without giving up. So that's a sign of a good teacher. All right. So lead you step by step. Remember that. Number 4, I want to say a good teacher should be a bilingual, at least bilingual, her or himself. You know, this is a very interesting one. And from the learning English side, there's many foreigners nowadays in China. They are some of them native speakers, sometimes some of them are not. Many Chinese in China learn English there from them, but very rarely, probably less than 1% will learn to the extent to sound like the native speakers of English. Why? Because native speakers, if they only know one language, it's totally, absolutely different feeling, different experience from learners. They never know what you feel. They never know how to cross the two languages. They cannot tell you, according to their experience, what it feels like to be a bilingual. So from the teacher, her or himself, if he or she is a bilingual, he or she can tell you much more. That's for sure. All right. That is the case. If the teacher never ever speaks another language, monolingual, just a native speaker, it doesn't produce good effect in teaching. I'm pretty sure that is the case. It's just like this. If you believe my English is not good enough, not near native speaker, then you don't need to come here to learn Mandarin from me. Because in my learning English, I know the experience. I'm showing what I have learned from the Chinese side, from the Mandarin side to the English part. You just go the other way around. All right? Wait, I go one way, you go the other way. So this is a pretty crucial test. If the teacher, her or himself, cannot say the other language well, it sounds strange to me, then you should give up on her or him. That's my belief. Just like if you don't think my English is good enough, clear enough to you, you should turn to another teacher, not come here. So that's a test, okay? So you should think this way, I believe. Last thing I want to say is the fifth point is a good teacher do not give lectures or lessons to everybody the same, because everybody has different needs. Everybody has different stages of learning, and everybody needs a different plan, teaching plan. So when you say your problems, what your learning problems, the other people do not have or haven't reached or already gone beyond you. So a good teacher should tailor each person's specialty, special problems or details to solve them, tailor to the needs and things like that. It shouldn't just cut everything on the same level or give general instructions all the time. I think that's a sign of a good teacher. So basically those 5 points you should consider to choose a good teacher. The important thing for a learner is the time. Languages, some of them are supposed to be only used somewhere for some time. And some of them you have to keep learning basically for the rest of your life. But for the short distance goal to be fluent, it's not very hard to achieve. I believe in 6 to 2 years, depending on how much investment, how much time you want to devote to learning, you can reach your goal. And the rest of your time you can use to learn by yourself. You do not need a teacher anymore. And well, it depends on how knowledge you are. And actually in the cultural or thinking part, there's still a lot of other things to learn too. But anyway, you can succeed and you can achieve your goal of learning Mandarin well. It's all up to your efforts. And even for the short goal, short distance purpose, like you want to do business or you want to have a girlfriend or something from China, and you can still do that. But the thing is, you want to save your time. You want to be effective, that's for sure. And the thing what I propose here, the 10 rules, is to help you to achieve that purpose. All right, today's topic, I'm going to stop here. And from next time, I will continue with the 10 rules of learning Mandarin Chinese. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.